Yes, yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. RunItBackPhilly, NZ for 3. And we are here to talk about a Sixers Summer League game. This is real sicko behavior, man. Dude, the amount of views that I had on the watch along last night blew my mind. I found all of you. I found all of the rest of the Sixers sickos across the world. And you guys make me feel normal because it is a level. Dude, I remember one year I was like trying to find an illegal stream of a summer league game, and at the time, my roommate was like, "What? What are you? Why are you even trying a summer league game? What are you talking about?" So yeah, bro. But it was a blast watching it last night. VJ Edgecombe, his debut was, I thought, fantastic. Things,
100%.
Some good stuff. Some not so good stuff too. We're going to talk about all of it. Ace Bailey, bro, yeah, like we're going to overreact to one summer league game. That's definitely what we're going to do. But we're gonna give all of our thoughts on it and whatever else we're going to talk about. The team going into the rest of the off season, some signings that they made and things like that. NZ, what is good, my guy?
What's up, Eastwood? Thanks for having me on once again. Always fun to chop up some Sixers. And I got to be honest, that it has been a while since I had a genuinely fun time watching the Philadelphia 76ers play a game of basketball. And for it to come in the form of a summer league game, that was what I least expected. But last night, man, I was engaged. I was having so much fun watching our young stud VJ Edgecombe ball the heck out in his summer league debut, and there's a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah, man, and honestly, the Sixers, when you really think about it, they haven't been exciting for a while, man, because it's been monotonous. It's been the same thing every year. We're just hoping a certain someone can stay healthy so that we can get to the NBA Finals, and it's just not that exciting, really, especially when it continues to end the way that it continues to end. So, like, whether we're winning anything or not, it is a lot of fun to watch young, hungry players who, are out there fighting for their lives, fighting for a position, fighting for a two-way contract, fighting for whatever, that's what makes the summer league fun. So it was a lot of fun, man. What are your thoughts on VJ Edgecombe's debut, man? He had 28, 10, 4. Where is it at? I just had it. I went over to the Jazz because I wanted to cook Ace
Couple
Bailey.
Blocks, too. 2 blocks.
28, 10, 4, a steal, 2 blocks, a plus 10. Blocked Jaden Springer, of all people, from behind.
And got an and one off
break.
of it. Yeah, man. Dude. VJ Edgecombe is a stud. He is a beast, and Philadelphia is going to love the way he plays basketball, man. I mean, we have a two-way player with a high motor who can, dude, just first off, just his ability to get to top speed so quickly in transition, it is mind-boggling. Like, he is a blur when he's getting out in transition, and couple that with his defensive playmaking as well. And, some areas he needs to polish his game in when he develops, he is going to be a force on both sides of the ball. I mean, my favorite play from VJ, other than his coast to coast slam, was actually I don't know if you saw this, but it was like right in the beginning of the game. It was Ace Bailey going right towards the rim. VJ, he got right in front of him with his quick feet, contested the shot, and Bailey missed it. But Filipowski, crashed the boards, and Bailey was able to tip it in. But still, dude, just the fact that he was able to force a tough shot for a guy much stronger than him, just with his strength, his size, and his ability, to burst and get up in the air is really something to see. And he was doing a lot. He was doing everything on the floor. I mean, when it came to like his pull-up shot that he was sort of getting knocked for in college, he was hitting like baseline middies, drive him to the basket, gather steps, pull up, swish. And of course it is a summer league game, but it is still really exciting to see how these guys are starting to play, in their first experience in the pros. And I could not be more happy with the way that VJ Edgecombe played.
Yeah, man, I think he looked exactly like what all of the scouting reports kind of were saying. And that is that, especially with the comparison to Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey, the scouting reports higher upside, 6'9", 210, but maybe more of a project, whereas VJ Edgecombe might not have the higher upside, but has the ability to impact the game right off the bat with his defensive ability, his speed, his athleticism, all of those types of things. And I think that's exactly what he did last night, man. He showed you that even while he's in a development phase, he has the potential to become an Anthony Edwards. Nobody knows, 3, 4, 5 years from now. But
sure,
in his early years, he's going to impact the game on both ends of the floor and be that just hustle glue guy that can defend, that can pass a little bit, that can make some plays. So I thought that's exactly what he did, man. And really the fact that he shot the ball poorly from the perimeter and still affected the game the way that he affected it, I think showed everybody exactly that, because he looked, right off the bat, he looked a little bit nervous to me. He looked a little bit timid on the perimeter when he would get the ball in his hands, not so sure what to do with the ball right away. Got more comfortable as the game went on. It doesn't matter how big of a college star you were or whatever, your first NBA game, you're going to have some nerves. And I think Ace Bailey can probably use that as an excuse somewhat for his performance too. But I thought VJ was a little bit nervous when the game started. I thought he got comfortable as it went on. But I think everybody got to see, even with struggling to shoot from the perimeter, how he was able to affect the game. And by the end of it, he had 28, 10, and 4. Just transition, defense, everything. And I think that's what he's going to bring to the Sixers the first couple years of his career. And I'm excited about that. And that perimeter shot will come along with repetitions. And he's the type of player, he's the type of mentality that's going to put in the repetition. So I have no worries about that coming along either.
Yeah, honestly, I think, a lot of his three-point attempts, they were pull-up three-pointers, and we kind of know that is something that he needs to work on. But the one three that he did hit was a catch-and-shoot three, and that is going to be essential if he's going to make a serious impact on the Sixers next season. That goes for every role player on the team when you're playing next to a guy like Embiid and Paul George, player, even Maxey, who generates so much gravity. You need to be able to catch that rock and start slinging that three, and it better go in, because that is how you're going to make the defense pay. When, they're trying to get, shut down Embiid or shut down Paul George, shut down Maxey. So VJ Edgecombe, man, he can do so many things on the basketball court, and that is what the Sixers have been looking for so long, man. I mean, we have had role players who they were really good at one thing, specialists, and that, role players, of course, they're far from perfect. That's why stars, impact the game so much, because they're so good at multiple things. But, even when it was George Niang, for example, fantastic shooter, cannot do anything else. Shake Millen was a good ball handler, as a backup point guard, but really cannot do anything on the offensive end of the floor and was not that good defensively. I mean, Matisse Thybulle, dude, was really athletic and could defend the ball well and really anticipate the next pass, but had a broken jump shot and was a liability in the playoffs. So we're getting a guy with VJ Edgecombe who is going to give you a lot of grit, who is going to use his great hands, his great footwork, his, fast feet to really put pressure on the perimeter, point of attack defense. The Sixers have lacked that as well. He got point of attack defense, but he also has those intangibles on the offensive end to really complement Embiid and Maxey. And Maxey in particular, man, I'm so excited for that backcourt pairing. I think Tyrese Maxey, he kind of used to be getting kicked around on the defensive end of the floor in his first couple of years, but he put on a little bit of muscle. It's definitely, I think he's like an average defender, at least at this point in his career. Of course, he can get better, but to have someone like VJ Edgecombe next to him, someone who can really commit to the defensive end of the ball while also being a catch and shoot threat, that is great to have next to Maxey, man, because I think a lot of these teams, it's just the truth, man. You need great perimeter defenders to succeed in the NBA playoffs. I mean, just a couple examples. I mean, the Pacers, they had Nembhard and McConnell. The Thunder, they're just stacked with perimeter guys like Dort and Case and Wallace. I'm sure that, plenty more I'm forgetting about. Even like the Warriors back then, with Klay Thompson putting him next to Steph Curry, who was an average defender, but, nothing, mind-blowing. You sort of need those guys or Drew Holiday, both for the Celtics and the Bucks. You need those guys to do the little things. VJ Edgecombe is going to do the little things, and he has that star upside as well. So I'm just so excited that we picked him, dude.
Dude, you know what I think I love the most about him, man, is that like he has no back down. He just goes out. He just went out there. He was chirping with some guys. Dude, he was getting into arguments with
Sensabaugh, right?
Sensabaugh, and then Isaiah Harkless.
Collier or something?
Isaac Harkless. Not Collier too, but then Harkless he was getting into it with too. But even from that warm-up video where I don't even know who was talking shit behind him, but he hit the three and he was like, fuck you talking about? You know what I mean? I just, dude, I need that type of mentality and that level of confidence combined with just I think his overall IQ. I think he's a guy that's confident, but is going to understand what he needs to work on. And I just love a kid that's going to go out there and get into get a little scrappy in a summer league game, man. There was almost like 2 or 3 fights in that game. I was like, bro, yeah. And remember the one they took like 8 minutes to review, and I'm like,
dude, why they were viewing in the summer league? Why they were viewing 10-minute plays in the summer league?
Right, and it's on ESPN. You should be happy people are even watching the summer league. Let them fight in the summer league, dude. That's what I think. Let them scrap for 3 minutes in the summer league.
Just
Nobody
like in
cares.
hockey, man. Just separate everyone, let them go at it. Yeah, I mean VJ Edgecombe, man. I think he has a lot of great skills that the Sixers have always needed. And I'm just super excited to have a guy like that, pair him next to Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and start building this young core. And I sort of got to disagree with you a little bit about his timidness. I think he was getting a lot of on-ball action, especially, I don't know if you forgot, but he ran a pick and pop with Broom. He flipped it over to Broom and he shot a 3 and he made it, man. So Edgecombe, I think he is a humble player who is going to immediately make an impact on the game because he's not going to be a guy who's going to demand all the attention, who is going to do the little things for you and kind of like make those sacrifices. Of course, he's a rookie. Of course, we do have a pecking order with our shot diet when it comes to Maxey, Embiid, Paul George, but he is someone who is just down to earth, wants to work hard, who wants to play gritty, wants to play tough, and he wants to make the winning plays. And the Sixers, if they, want to develop that championship DNA, they need to have those type of guys. And I'm really excited, man. I mean, that summer league game, I don't even know how I was able to watch most of the games last year. I mean, I did. And it was just like, I was rooting for them to lose because they're tanking, but still, like, we are this long into the process, and we're watching, Alex Reese and Marcus Bagley. Like, come on, man. Marcus
Bagley, I forgot that name. Wow, Marcus Bagley. Yeah, I think there was a point in the game, maybe still in the first half, where he missed a mid-range jumper, and then I think it was Jaden Springer still guarding him. He started to just back up and like dare him to shoot, and he passed up an open one time, and I was like, oh shit, that's I think that's what I meant by timidness.
Oh,
where
gotcha.
I felt like he was getting in a little bit of a like, fuck, I can't hit one, and they're telling me to shoot it now, and then you know what I mean. But I think he came out of it by the end of the game. But again, I think for him to impact the game like that while only shooting 13 for 27 and 1 for 7 from 3, what can this kid do when he starts to see some of those perimeter shots go in? You know what I mean? So the potential is through the roof, man. The potential is through the roof. And it's refreshing because the 76ers, like you said, we always draft guys. We've drafted so many guys in the first round that have a specialist skill or whatever. Some of them are guys that can't even play basketball, but are very athletic and can play defense, like a Matisse Thybulle. And then we have to hope or pretend or lie to ourselves that this guy's going to learn how to play the offensive side of the game, and it just never really happens. This is somebody that finally, I used to say for years, where are just the basketball players? Where are the guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot, that can do all the basketball things? Every other team seems to have them, like Mathurin on the Pacers. I always point out that guy. He's that role player who just comes in a game and can dribble, pass, and shoot. And the Sixers never have that guy. And I feel like VJ is one of those guys. I am, of course, getting cooked for my reaction to the draft. Because of with Ace Bailey at number 3, first of all, at the time, and I think I'm very, I don't think I should be cooked for this because I didn't know he was a self-righteous psychopath. I didn't know him and his camp were going to be like, we don't want to go here. We don't want to go here. We're going to, and once all the stuff started coming out, I was like, this is sounding like the next Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? That's when I started being like, but I still thought with his upside, I was under the impression that other teams were still very high on him and would have traded up to number 3 to get him. I wanted the 76ers to, I think it was just me being angry at him and his camp. I wanted the 76ers to say, shut up. We make the rules. We're drafting you. And now we're going to trade you. And they didn't do that. And that's why my reaction was that. But nobody can ever say I said anything negative about VJ Edgecombe because I didn't. No. And I had a lot of shows talking about all the things that I like about him. And I'm very happy it worked out the way that it worked out. And Ace Bailey, man, you got all the potential in the world, bro, but you're going to have to get these people away from you. And then you come out in game one, your first summer league game, and play like that, and showed signs of quit, showed signs of like, didn't really want it, didn't want to play through the struggles. And he got benched like pretty much the whole second half. It ended up him hitting the game-winning free throw, which is annoying. But, I mean, they both have massive upside. Ace Bailey's going to need to get the right people around him, but his potential is still through the roof. But a little bit of a head case, and I think he did show that in the game last night.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, I'm not going to act like I didn't want Ace Bailey when we got the 3rd overall pick. For me, he was the consensus number 3 guy. He was a good positional fit with the Sixers with his size. But still, as the weeks were going by, everyone started to sort of, compare him to like, oh, Kevin Durant, he's going to be the next Kevin Durant. And I think, this is just like an NBA fan sort of deal. Like, anytime we see a guy who's like 6'8", 6'9", and hits a contested mid-range shot, we instantly think of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is 6'11", has a 7'5" wingspan, and plays like a guard. And we'll never see a player like him ever again. And he's probably going to play until he's like 40. And KD is just a special player. And Ace Bailey, when he measured at the combine, everyone was thinking that I think everyone was thinking he was 6'10", but he was actually 6'11" and had like less than 4 inches of a wingspan than KD did. And, that's not really, it's kind of, I mean, look, yeah, he's tall and can hit a mid-range shot, but he did not have the size, the intangibles that Kevin Durant did. I sort of thought that, if he was drafted to the Sixers, he would sort of play in an off-ball role, because one of the 3, I think the 1 3 that he did hit, it was a catch and shoot 3. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what is most likely going to be the scheme for him coming into his first years in the NBA as he develops his body, as he develops more, with his game. But look, I know like a lot of other Sixers fans were saying, we didn't tank the way we tanked last season just to pick a guy like VJ Edgecombe or Con Knipple, who are, of course, fantastic players, but don't have that ceiling of Ace Bailey. Me, on the other hand, once I started to find out about him sort of being a head case with his agent and, wanting to go on that path to stardom, as it was described in that one ESPN report, I did not almost request a trade from being a Sixers fan last year to draft Ben Simmons 2.0. If you think about it like that, I did not watch all those games just to draft Ben Simmons 2.0, man. That was just how I felt. And I think that if by going with VJ Edgecombe, you are doing something that the Sixers really have never really done, and that is try and build a true winning culture and really take the winning player over the guy who's being hyped up with the media. And VJ Edgecombe, of course, does he really have, I mean, when you think about intangibles and athleticism, size, does he have as much of a ceiling as Ace Bailey? I mean, probably not, but at least from what we have seen from Edgecombe, man, he is a gym rat. He works hard. He's got that Tyrese Maxey mentality of being 1% better every single day. And he could still develop into a star and maybe a superstar. Definitely. Who really knows, man? I mean, there are criticisms about Anthony Edwards and Kate Cunningham, Paolo Banchero, all of them, and they're all, developing superstars. Yeah. And VJ Edgecombe, man, I'm happy. Daryl Morey, he made the right decision. I really trust Daryl Morey when it comes to his drafting decisions. I think he hit the nail on the head here, making the mature move. And look, in the worst case scenario, this is the worst case scenario, but it's still pretty good. Even if VJ Edgecombe becomes, the most elite role player in the NBA, that is still one of the better draft picks the Sixers have made in the past 30 years. That's what I like. That's how I like to think about it. But yeah, man, VJ on the Sixers, it's dope.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I was gonna say something now I forget. But yeah, man, I'm happy. I'm happy it turned out the way it turned out, man. And here we go. I think what I was gonna say is people were comparing him to Dwayne Wade a lot, or saying that's his comp. I'm thinking like Russell Westbrook, you know what I mean? So if like Ace Bailey's ceiling is maybe not Kevin Durant, but Tracy McGrady, VJ Edgecombe's ceiling could be Russell Westbrook. He even has a smoother looking jump shot than Russell Westbrook does, which can develop into a really good shooter. That was always one of Russell Westbrook's weaknesses. So maybe Russell Westbrook with a better jump shot, man, and that's dangerous,
Well, I think I understand the Dwayne Wade comps because Dwayne Wade is one of the best perimeter defenders of all time. And with VJ Edgecombe's freak athleticism, he definitely has the skill set and the work ethic and the IQ to become one of the best perimeter defenders in the league for a really long time. And I mean, honestly, Eastwood, I think coming into his rookie season, he can be he probably is already a top 15, possibly top 10 athlete, just pure athlete in the entire league. I mean, just how much he's able to reach his, max velocity just so quickly.
Yeah.
Just his acceleration is nuts. His lift is nuts. His ability to, move laterally is really good. And he is, 6'5". I think Dwayne Wade was listed at like 6'4", at least on Basketball Reference. So a lot of them are, comparing him to Jimmy. I think Jimmy's like 6'7", and I mean, I can understand that with, his intensity and, tendency to like talk trash and stuff like that. But I think Dwayne Wade, just with how fast they are, just how lethal they were as slashers and as perimeter defenders, that I think is definitely the comp for me. And, Anthony Edwards as well.
Yeah, dude. VJ and Maxey on a fast break together, man. Who's stopping that? They're going to go 0 to 100 in a split second. Quick. And I like that you pointed that out, because when people talk about his athleticism, I think right away you think about his dunking and jumping from almost the foul line or things like that. But people probably don't think about his speed, and he has speed, and he can, the dunk that he had in the first half, it was just one in and out dribble because he was coming at the defender so quick that the dude couldn't even do anything. He almost tripped him. You know what I mean? So his speed is going to be a weapon too. And him and Maxey running a fast break together is going to be hard to stop. Matthew Woodland, Philly added Dogs, Edgecombe, Broom, Bona, and McCain. Thanks. Yeah, man. Well, we could talk about all of it. We might be up here for 2 hours if we end up talking about all those guys. But man, I'm down. VJ was amazing. Adem Bona. Yeah, let's go there next, man. We'll go Adem Bona next. I want to talk about Janiah Broom too. Adem Bona, man. I don't see a world where Andre Drummond should be on the floor next season. I don't see a world where the 76ers don't trade Andre Drummond. I can't. First of all, I couldn't see it last season. And I know Adem Bona might still have a fouling problem that he had. Maybe that'll be the reason Andre Drummond is on the floor next season at times, but it's not like he doesn't foul either. Last season, I thought Adem Bona should have had so much more center minutes than he got.
For sure.
But Nicky Nurse, he has to see a guy for 7 years before he plays him. But this upcoming season, I just don't see it. Year 2 Adem Bona, this dude looks like a monster, bro, a monster. And yeah, it's against summer league competition. It's not like he was bodying some of the best big men in the NBA out there. He was pushing Filipowski out of his way. But, bro, Filipowski looked like a cardboard cutout trying to guard Adem Bona. He gave him a big shoulder, just knocked him off the court and slammed in his face. He was manhandling that dude. And you talk about athleticism. That dude's athleticism is freaky. I mean, the left-handed slam that he had, I didn't even know he could dunk with his left hand. He was so high in the air. I don't think the NBA's talking about Adem Bona enough. His athleticism is wild. When he gets a head of steam to the rim, he might rip the rim off of the backboard. I'm so excited for Adem Bona, and I think that I don't see a world where Nick Nurse does what he did last season with these guys in their second year, Adem Bona, Justin Edwards, and guys like that.
Yeah, Philly fans are not going to put up with it, man. I mean, no. Andre Drummond last year, look. I'm gonna defend him just a bit. I mean, Drummond, he was terrible last year, but I don't think he should have only been with Embiid healthy. He wasn't going to be. He only looked really that bad because he was getting so much time. And I think even when we signed him in the 2022 season, when he was not really getting many minutes, just being a backup center off the bench, giving you 10 to 15 minutes, just a guy who can grab some rebounds, maybe catch the blobs, that was fine. But no, Drummond, man. He was cooked last season. I mean, there really isn't getting, there's no way around it. Adem Bona is superior to him. I mean, he had, his first dunk, man, when he received that pocket pass from Justin Edwards right into him, man, just physical, slammed it home. And that is what the Sixers need. They need more youth. They need more athleticism, and they need guys who can, run up, a decent pick and roll and really play physical. I don't think Drummond at this point of his career, he really has that athleticism anymore, man. I mean, he dubbed himself the greatest rebounder of all time. And look, I don't think one guy can really fix an entire team's rebounding, but he still really wasn't that good of a rebounder. And I've not seen a basketball player miss so many more open layups than Andre Drummond does. Other than Matisse Thybulle, it's actually nuts. It's nuts.
The term shooting bricks, I always think of because it looks like he's throwing a cinder block at the backboard. That's how he shoots the ball.
Right, yeah. And so, yeah, Dem Bona, he needs to be the backup center. Now, Nick Nurse, I'm not feeling good about it, man, because he was playing Gershon Yabusele at center. And some Sixers fans are saying, well, that was actually, one of their better lineups last year when Yabu was playing center. I'm like, okay, maybe they could score the ball, but defense, interior defense, I mean, we had to watch Mo Bamba and Paul Millsap protect the paint, over these past couple of years. Yabu was not a good paint defender. No. And you need someone who is young and athletic who could jump. And at Dem Bona, he can do that. He was looking like Giannis out there, and he had more dunks in that game than Tobias Harris did in his entire Sixers career. So it's time to play a Dem Bona at backup center. It's time for Nick Nurse to finally stop dilly-dallying and get serious, man, because Sixers fans, they're getting fed up. Sixers fans, we watch every game intently, no matter how trash the team is, because, we are sick in the head, but we love our team, and we know that the rest of the league, it is moving towards youth. It is moving towards guys with some fresh legs under them. And even if, a Dem Bona, if he fouls a lot and he's uncoordinated, that's fine. I'd rather have that than someone who is just decrepit and can't do anything at all, has no juice whatsoever. Drummond, man, I don't know. I mean, hopefully he has a better season, but is Daryl Morey going to just fill him up, give him away in a salary dump? Who really knows? But
I think I
would much prefer Bona as the backup center.
I think at $5 million, you have to, because you don't want a guy on the end of your bench making $5 million. And Andre Drummond signed his player option at $5.2 million or something. And I think you have to try your best to trade him. There was already a rumor that the 76ers were trying to trade him before. I don't know if it was before the draft or whatever, but they've been trying to trade him. They've been. I
mean, the Pacers could use a big man. They just lost Miles Turner. So
yeah, there's teams that could use a rebounder, or in theory, at least Andre Drummond has that. Like, his legacy is dominant rebounding. So there's, even if people hopefully some teams didn't watch last season for the Sixers intently because they were so bad, and they don't know that Andre Drummond isn't really as good as he used to be, and they think like, oh, we need rebounding help. Well, Andre Drummond, I think Andre Drummond is still a name people say when they think about that. So there might be a market to at least throw Andre Drummond into one of these maybe 7-team trades that happen this offseason. But yeah, man, it has to be a Dem Bona, man. It has to. And yeah, I think you're right that it wasn't totally fair, especially the fact that, Yabusele at center, Drummond at center, nobody could guard the rim. And we'll see if Nick Nurse has a little bit more of a defensive philosophy this year. He's supposed to be a defensive-minded coach, I thought. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to a Dem Bona, and they got to figure out something with Andre Drummond. Steve Bagley, with VJ's performance, should we be worried if Quentin Grimes signs to another team? No, I don't think. Well, I want Grimes back just because I want VJ Edgecombe to come off the bench. I think, sure. and that's my opinion. I was gonna maybe ask you what you think. You're way too early off-season starting lineup, but a lot of people have him in the starting lineup already. I don't think you should start a 19-year-old rookie. I just don't. I would rather Maxey Grimes, and then maybe McCain and VJ off the bench. I think that would be a crazy bench lineup and depth and scoring and defense and athleticism. So yeah, I mean, in theory, here we are again. The if healthies, if healthy, we should be very deep, and we should have a lot of scoring, especially if Justin Edwards and a Dem Bona are coming off the bench. If Paul George and Joel Embiid are actually playing basketball this season, so yeah, I would like for. I think the Sixers end up working it out with Quentin Grimes, even if it's just for that 1 year, because I think what's happening is Grimes is waiting for something to happen. He's waiting for someone to come up with some kind of salary cap trick to offer him close to the $20 million that apparently he wants. I think his best option is probably to sign the 8.7 with the Sixers for 1 year and then become an unrestricted free agent next season. I think that's what I would do if I was Quentin Grimes right now. I would play my best for a whole season and then be an unrestricted free agent next season and sign wherever I want. But we'll see what happens, man.
I mean, I think he's gonna start. I mean, he's gonna sign for a much bigger contract with more money for at least in my opinion, because the Sixers, I think they're going to start him. When you're being offered a starting spot, you're getting a lot of minutes, you're getting a role, a significant role on the team, especially a team like the Sixers that have a lot of great guards. And it's crazy because the Sixers actually have 4 legit NBA guards. You know what I mean? Not any guys who have busted jump shots who we just hope can, do something. We have guys with defined skill sets, versatile skill sets to complement, our older stars. And that is great, man, both for in the short term and the long term. And I would prefer if Quentin Grimes starts because having a 3-and-D big, combo guard next to Tyrese Maxey, that is a fantastic fit. That's the same reason, sort of why we're talking about VJ Edgecombe as a great building block next to Tyrese Maxey, because he can sort of compensate for Maxey. Maxey, of course, is not a liability defensively, but he's not really good defensively, I would say, either. Having a guy who can really lock down on the perimeter while being a threat on the offensive end of the floor, helping out Maxey, giving him someone to dish the rock to when the defense is collapsing on him, that is vital, man. And to have Quentin Grimes, who is a big guard, 6'5", big guard, combo guard who can shoot, who has really unlocked his 3-level scoring, man. I mean, he was going on a crazy run throughout that, post-trade deadline part of the season, putting up like 40+ points against the Rockets, one of the best defenses in the league. So he wasn't going up against, the Hornets every single time. He was showing some genuine improvement in his game when he came to the Sixers, and there really isn't a market for him at all. I mean, no teams are going to be offering him huge contracts. I mean, all the teams that we thought had a bunch of cap space don't have that cap space anymore. It's kind of a unique situation within the NBA offseason where a lot of these teams, they are sort of already capped and don't have a lot of money to spend. Not really that one team that just could dish out everything for a guy like Quentin Grimes.
And the CBA. The CBA is a big problem for teams because if you're over the cap for 3 straight seasons, there's like serious penalties and you can end up losing first-round draft picks and stuff. So there's a lot of teams that are scared of the second apron too.
So not only do you have the CBA, you just don't have any teams that value Grimes the way his camp does, and it makes sense the way why his camp is valuing him like that. Of course, he's going to try and get the best deal possible. But if you do sign with the Sixers, I mean, he is only 24 years old. Maybe sign like a 4-year, $72 million deal, something around that. I think that's what's being floated around. If you could sign that contract, prove that you can be a legit starting player in the NBA. And you enter unrestricted free agency, you're 28 in the middle of your prime, you're going to get a huge deal. I mean, look at OG Anunoby, man. I mean, he signed a huge contract with the Knicks.
It'd be huge, man.
It would be huge. So I would prefer Quentin Grimes to start, as he is a great complementary piece next to Maxey. And then off the bench, man, you have VJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain. You still have that same tandem with the primarily offensive player that McCain is, as well as that great defender in VJ Edgecombe. You have that versatility. You have just a well-rounded guard rotation, and that is vital in the NBA because a lot of these teams that are making the finals, they have elite guard units. And the Sixers, they finally have that.
Exactly. And with all these guards, we should definitely not see Kyle Lowry in 2026, correct? Like we should
better
not see. Is Kyle Lowry a free agent right now?
I think he is. I think he's pretty much been, really rumored to be coming back to the Sixers. I mean, his number
he
was
said he wants to play another year. He said he wants to play another year, but I haven't heard anything about the 76ers being interested in bringing it back.
Here's my theory, and it's kind of silly, but Edgecombe's number is 77, and he wore 7 in college, and Lowry was 7 last season. And I think this happened with Andre Iguodala when Chris Webber got traded here. Webber took number 4, something like that. So, players, they usually just do that. So Edgecombe had to wear 77. So I think it's pretty much confirmed, at least from that. It is silly, but Lowry, I think he's probably coming back. I would not be surprised if he was to return.
No, I don't think they can announce that. I don't think they can announce that. He was on a 1-year deal last year after being bought out by the Charlotte Hornets. I forgot the intangibles of it. I just Googled it. With the 76ers announcing that they re-signed Eric Gordon and almost causing a riot in Philadelphia, because we're sick of it. We're sick of the old guys. We're tired of it. We don't need the mentors. We're tired of it. I don't think the 76ers can actually announce we have re-signed Kyle Lowry, bro. I just don't think that's possible at this point.
We never know, man. I don't think we really thought that they're going to re-sign Gordon too when he declined his option, because he hated. I think he kind of hated playing here. I mean, there are rumors that he was the one who released the news that, Maxey called out Embiid and stuff like that. So I mean, Lowry, just no Lowry, no Gordon, dude. If they can be, I understand like the mentorship aspect. You do have a lot of young players, and Kyle Lowry, of course, he has a really high basketball IQ. If he didn't, he wouldn't have, been as good as he was.
Yeah, and I think he's probably a great guy, and he's already made a great relationship with Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey. I would love Kyle Lowry as an assistant coach. I might love Kyle Lowry as a head coach, dude. You know what I mean?
But or have that like Udonis Haslem role. I mean, I think the Heat kind of had that. I think that's probably what the Sixers are going to do. That's just my opinion. I mean,
but it's Nick Nurse, though. Anytime you keep a guy that old on your team and you have Nick Nurse, he wants to play him so bad, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So is Daryl Morey like, listen, we're gonna re-sign him as a mentor. Don't fucking put him on the court, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, like with Doc Rivers, Nick Nurse, it seems that Daryl Morey, as much flack as he gets, he tried to sort of make this he tried getting guys like Isaiah Joe and Paul Reed, even like Charles Bassey back in the day, to give Doc Rivers when we were so decrepit, but they just would not play them anyway. And it seems that the coach and the front office, they keep bickering. They have these different philosophies when it comes to who should be getting minutes over who. And it's just so annoying that he's trying to do it. I mean, he did sign Drummond and Lowry, Gordon in the first place. That he admitted himself that he valued, veteran, gameplay and leadership over, younger guys with less experience. And he's done a good job so far, in my opinion, sort of compensating for that and adjusting to that when you're bringing in Trendon Watford and to be Jabari
fair,
Walker.
To be fair, we all bought into it too. We all bought into the Caleb Martin signing, the Andre Drummond signing, all of those signings. We all bought into it too. We didn't know they were gonna look as retired as they did, and he probably didn't realize that either. And it was just a disaster. Reggie Jackson too. Holy hell!
Jackson.
So many of those dudes were cooked.
And I mean, couldn't we just have brought back Jared Butler too? Like, I'd rather much if they wanted like a more like true point guard type to bring back, even though it doesn't make sense. If they wanted that, just bring back Jared Butler. You know what I mean?
Well, they traded a first round pick swap for him. That's a pretty crazy part. They traded that 2026 first round pick swap, which is the better of like 4 different teams, and it's complicated. But the Jared Butler trade and the Quentin Grimes trade were like panic moves for Daryl Morey at the trade deadline. He still believed that we were contenders, and what he was trying to do, I think, is try to get younger and more dynamic as quickly as possible to make this playoff run that never happened, that he was still thought was possible. And that's, so it is what it is with the Jared Butler thing. I thought they probably would have traded Yabusele at the trade deadline if they didn't believe they were going to make a playoff run. But yeah, man, I think we should be done seeing Kyle Lowry. I don't even think the Sixers are going to sign him to one more year unless Nick Nurse can swindle something, like when your best friend gets you in the club for free or something. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Eastwood, I'm glad we drafted VJ. Even on draft night, this kid will embody the energy of the city and the fans. He's going to blend in just fine. The city of Philly is definitely going to love VJ Edgecombe, man. He has that attitude. He has that underdog chip on his shoulder, man. They're definitely going to love him, man. I think the last thing I wanted to talk about was, Justin Edwards. I'm not putting, too much on a bad summer league game from Justin Edwards. I'm not worried about it. I think Justin Edwards' game is what it is. I thought he looked great last year at the end of the season. I think he plays like a methodical type of game, and the summer league can just be like a bunch of random players thrown together, no real philosophies or anything going on. So he didn't look great in what is essentially a YMCA pickup game. And then Janiah Broom, man. Janiah Broom is looking like somebody's uncle out there on the playground with the fundamentals. Janiah Broom is looking like that guy. He's looking like he's not. And this is what I thought, with going through his college tape and his scouting reports and stuff. He lacks athleticism. there's a lot of things you could say of why Janai Broom won't be good in the NBA, but I feel like he's going to be that guy that just finds a way to get it done. He has perfect positioning. There's a reason he's such a good rebounder without being able to jump and only being 6'9". He just knows where to be on the floor at all times. He has a passing ability that I don't think was talked about enough. He can play the elbow and play a high-low. They were playing a high-low with him and a Bona in last night's game. There was one play where I thought he was going to throw the lob to Bona, which would have been dope. But I think Janai Broom is going to be like what the hell was his name, man? I couldn't remember his name last night either. He went to L.A. and we signed him for 1 year. Then he went back to L.A.
Nick Batum, man.
Yeah, Nick Batum next to Embiid. I think he can be a little bit of Nick Batum with his passing ability from the power forward position if they play him that way. I'm excited for Janai Broom, and I think he brings a level of like just straight fundamentals to the game that the 76ers lack a lot with positioning and rebounding and knowing where to be on the floor. And he hit 2 threes last night, and he was a 27% three-point shooter in college, so maybe he becomes a legit stretch 4, and we forget all about Gershon Yabusele, because I think athleticism-wise, they're probably right around the same.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, Broom, my opinion of him didn't really change from last night. I kind of expected it. He was, great positioning, some good pick and pop threes that he was running with VJ Edgecombe. He had 2 of them, man. 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And if he develops that ability to space the floor, I think, he really is not that athletic, and who really knows whether he can really measure up to the real, actual NBA athleticism other than summer league guys.
Defensively,
defensively at least, and creating separation. But if he can sort of become a respectable 3-point shooter, the NBA could use some really smart role players who are able to be find their positioning. And Nick Batum, he was a sneaky athletic kind of player, and Nick Batum, man, he had a buttery smooth shooting stroke. If Broom can even develop something that sort of resembles it, I think he could find a place in the NBA. I don't know if it's going to be with the Sixers. Who really knows at the end of the day? I don't know if he's going to be a role player, because it is still, summer league at the end of the day. But Broom, he showed that, he showed his IQ, that he got that experience from college, that he knows to play within a system. And I wish he does develop, into a solid role player. I still don't know if it's going to be with the Sixers, because you already have Trendon Watford. Yeah, I think every skill that you just described with Broom and what he has the potential to develop, you sort of already have with Watford. And Watford, with his passing, with his rebounding, he's kind of, remember when everyone was saying we got to bring back Ben Simmons? Well, with Trendon Watford, man, you're sort of kind of getting washed up Ben Simmons. I mean, a guy who could still rebound at a decent rate. He's not like a great rebounder, not really a good rebounder, but he does crash the boards. He does play hard, who can give you some rebounds from time to time, who can swing the rock and play decent defense, but without that horrible mentality. He does shoot threes. And I'd rather have Trendon Watford play the backup point guard position than Kyle Lowry. Honestly, like just having that point forward.
I thought you meant to say power forward and you missed.
Nah. I'd rather have Watford play backup point guard than Lowry. Having McCain, Maxey fly off all those screens, that point forward type. I love point forwards, and Lowry's just washed at this point. Broom, he definitely played a good game. If he can really develop his floor spacing, because I did see him hit those 2 pick and pop threes. In big men, they need to be able to shoot threes at a respectable rate. Respectable volume and percentage. So if he can develop into that sneaky athletic type who can, hit a 3 and really make an impact on the game, I think he could be a good role player. But it's going to take, he is sort of, an older player as well, playing all that time in college. So who really knows if he's already kind of hit his ceiling? Of course, well,
that's what I'm saying. I think he looks like, that's what I'm saying. I think he looks like what he is. I think he's an NBA ready player. And I think he's a guy that's going to surprise a lot of people with his ability to straight up play in the NBA and not need so much development. But I don't think there's going to be much more development from him. I think he kind of is what he is. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
For sure.
Jack, loving these collabs lately with you and NZ. Keep it up. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for the support, man. Shout out to NZ for coming through as always, man. What else was I going to say, man? Janai Broom, I was going to say something about him, man. Damn, I'm sucking at this tonight. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The chat's saying that I'm overreacting to the summer league a little bit. That's what I was going to say, because I am watching this summer league game, and the chat's like you're overreacting to the summer league. And so I wanted to remind everyone that Furkan Korkmaz did have a 40-point game in the summer league, and I thought he was the next, Hito Turkoglu. I thought he was the next Peja Stojakovic. You know what I mean? And he was not. So it is very possible that everything I'm saying in this stream is completely wrong because it's just a summer league, but it is a lot of fun.
I mean, yeah, just let us have this for once. I mean, for what we had to deal with last year, let us just enjoy some good basketball. I mean, if it's in the summer league, it is what it is. I don't, of course, you shouldn't be taking the summer league that seriously, but you do get to see how these guys are playing and what they can develop into, if the right circumstances align. And VJ Edgecombe, he does have that mentality of getting into the gym, improving nonstop, and that is a developing piece of the Sixers culture that they are going to ride with in the Tyrese Maxey era, and I'm all excited. I'm super excited for it, man.
You know who I love? I love Mark Armstrong, man. Mark Armstrong. I'm kidding. Last night, Mark Armstrong, yeah. I'm sorry. If anybody knows him personally, I'm sorry. Bro, the dude, I don't know if he was just nervous or what. The guy had 0 points and was a minus 17 in 11 minutes in a summer league game. He was 0 for 7 from the floor. Mark Armstrong was very, very bad last night, and I was making a joke tweeting Mark Armstrong fan club. I wanted to roast Mark Armstrong, I guess, for some reason. That's rude. He's in the summer league and I'm not. But before we get out of here, did the 76ers owners get lucky again and bring us all back? Because at the end of every season, I feel like this fan base is out. This fan base is done. Nobody's coming to the arena. It's dead. And then they get such a fun player out of the draft in VJ Edgecombe, and a guy that Philadelphia is definitely going to watch play because of his just effort and his attitude and the way that he approaches the game. And then you think about Jared McCain, and if they can re-sign Quentin Grimes, there is a lot of reason for the fans to be excited to at least come to the arena and watch some of these young guys. I think if Joel Embiid's not healthy, none of it matters anyway, as usual. So there is that. But I do feel like the Sixers ownership, they did it again. Maybe it's just in my DNA and I'm going to find a reason to come back no matter what. But they did it again for me, at least. I'm excited for the 2026 76ers. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I am. They did it again.
So am I, man. So am I. And I think the reason for it is because the Sixers have always had a huge roster turnover. It seems like every season we're seeing a new team. There's always some big situation that us Sixers fans are saying, if we get rid of this situation, we could finally break through and get serious. Like with Ben Simmons, you know what I mean? Ben Simmons embarrassed himself in the playoffs. If we can just get rid of Ben Simmons, really commit to Embiid, then we'll finally get through. And then, trade for Harden, and then Harden stinks it up. And if we can finally trade, James Harden, who's a huge head case, and, finally really commit to Embiid and, maybe get some more depth, then we can make a run. But Embiid always gets injured. And then, look, we signed Paul George, who came off one of the healthiest seasons of his career and was an all-star, and have him as a third option instead of Tobias Harris, who, put up zero points in an elimination game and was just such a liability in the playoffs year after year. We're finally getting another star, like a true star, to put next to Embiid and Maxey. But then everyone gets hurt once again, have the worst season ever. Then you get another really amazing, intriguing prospect in VJ Edgecombe. So it's different players being moved around, different situations, but it's always something new, something drastic that changes with the team that, us as fans, we say, okay, finally we have it all together. Now we can go on a run if healthy.
If healthy. How, let's do this before we leave. Way too early in the offseason, but scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that the 76ers are actually healthy and have a good season.
I mean, I'm in a good mood right now coming off that summer league game. So this is going to change day to day. But, dude, I'm probably going to have to go with a 4.
I was going to say 4.
Yeah, 4th. Honestly, like probably tomorrow I'm going to say 3. Because, dude, it has been like 10 years since we drafted Joel Embiid. He missed his first 2 seasons, has barely been able to get on the court. When he's on the court, this dude is unstoppable, and he is a top 3 player in the league. But he just does not stay healthy, and this team is nothing without Joel Embiid. And if he cannot find a way to get some run in the playoffs without getting some freak elbow to the face, then the Sixers are screwed. But if he is able to finally, I guess, sort of embrace his inner Tim Duncan, step back a little bit, not average 34 points, but maybe like 20 and 12 or something, playing some great, rim defense. If he can do that, really hand the keys over to Maxey and McCain. If Paul George can just be better than Tobias Harris, that's what we've been saying, man. We know we signed him to a huge contract, but the expectation was that he would be better than Tobias, but Tobias was better than him last year.
Just be better than Tobias Harris, man. That's all we ask.
Exactly.
I think I have a feeling that Paul George is going to be good this year. I have a feeling, man. Once everybody got hurt, we expected him to step up. We probably shouldn't have expected that. He is who he is. That's who he is. He doesn't want to step up and lead a team. He came here because he was excited to be the third option where he'd get to kind of hide in the shadows and do the, play defense and still get a max contract. And then when we expected him to step up, it just didn't happen, and we were mad about it. But if Joel is back and Maxey and maybe they re-sign Grimes and you got a deep bench, I think Paul George can settle into what he was supposed to do in the first place. And he hyperextended his knee twice in like 2 weeks, because that's just what happens when you put on a 76ers jersey. So maybe that doesn't happen, and maybe he looks like the Paul George that we thought we were going to get. We'll see. But yeah, I'm also at, I think, a 4 out of 10.
They need to shut down Edgecombe after this game, after the next summer league game.
Yeah.
It's better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. Let's just get ready for next season. And look, man, Paul George, he has, he showed flashes of what he could have been with the Sixers last season. I think his defense was good. Not prime Indiana Pacers, OKC Thunder, Paul George, but it was respectable. He was still able to provide you some good perimeter defense. If he can really tap into that and just be a good catch and shoot player, because we've always been saying, man, Tobias Harris was never reliable from 3, and teams were sagging off of him last season. The Knicks did not care if Tobias Harris would get, or even like the Celtics, they did not care if he would get like his 13, 15 points and not do anything for the rest of the game because he was so passive. If they can give Joel Embiid such a hard time, because you couldn't really rely on Tobias to take over a game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least with Paul George, man, his skill set as a catch and shoot player and just as a 3-and-D wing, at least an above average 3-and-D wing at this point in his career, if he can just embrace that role, be better than Tobias Harris, be more effective than Tobias Harris as well. You have Quentin Grimes, who still fits, is an excellent fit with this team. With his ability to space the floor and play defense, he can work really well next to Maxey. And if the Sixers, if they can figure it out with with Embiid being healthy, Paul George being healthy, and the rest of the roster filling itself out, you got the youth with Trendon Watford and Jabari Walker. It was crazy, dude. I did not know that they could get Jabari Walker on a 2-way. Now, is he gonna? I don't know if Jabari Walker is going to be getting any substantial run this season. I mean, Justin Edwards, I think he's definitely earned himself some roster, some minutes. Yeah. Kelly Oubre is going to be really interesting to see what they do with him.
Yeah. Nick Nurse has a lot of lineup decision making, man. He has a lot of things he has to figure out. If they don't pull off some trades before the season starts, he has a lot of things to figure out.
Sure. And I think VJ, I'm not worried about Nick Nurse playing Eric Gordon, or if Kyle Lowry does come back over VJ. I'm not worried about them playing over VJ, because Josh Harris knows he has a young, exciting player that can fill in some seats.
You don't think Nick Nurse would do that? Is that what you're saying?
Josh Harris won't make. Josh Harris is going to do everything in his power to have Nick Nurse play. He's going to make Nick Nurse play VJ over those guys, no matter what.
because of the potential star ability.
Young, exciting. Yeah. You got another one to hook the fans in, and Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon. We've seen it all too much before, man. You can't be having these guys who can't do anything on the floor.
Much like Doc Rivers, if there is a coach who's crazy enough to do things that you thought even he wasn't going to do, it is Nick Nurse, man. I can't believe over this past couple of years how much he is exactly like Doc Rivers. He is. And the thing is, we talk about all these things all summer amongst Sixers fans and content creators and podcasters and everything, that we feel like this is the general opinion. And then we realize very quickly that the coach is on a totally different planet, a plane of thought than we were, and does the exact opposite of what everybody thought was going to happen. So I'm not ruling it out, dude. If I wouldn't be totally shocked if game one, first guy off the bench, Eric Gordon.
Yeah, but I mean, like VJ, he was the 3rd overall pick. Everyone loves him already. I think he's gonna get that run, or else Nick Nurse.
That's true. With him being that's true. With him being a number 3 pick, you can't do it. If he was a late first round pick or someone that Justin Edwards type that was undrafted, that's different. You have an excuse to not trust the guy right away. Yeah, being a top 3 pick, he has to play. If Eric Gordon is off the bench before VJ Edgecombe in game 1, we riot. Hayden, what's up, man? I say this is it before they have to blow it up if they can. I honestly, I'm starting to think Daryl Moore is doing a good job of building a young core for the next era past the Joel Embiid and Paul George era. And so I don't even think there really is the term blow it up anymore when it comes to the 76ers, because blowing it up would be trading all of your good players, and they're not going to trade Tyrese Maxey or Jared McCain. If they can re-sign Grimes, they're going to re-sign Grimes. And, so I don't think blow it up is even the right word anymore for the 76ers. I think there's a world where you try to trade Joel Embiid if it doesn't work this year, but at the same time, another year, he's going to, then he'll be 32 and, is injured all the time. Is there even a trade market for a guy, especially with his contract? If he didn't have the contract that he has, it'd be different. But who wants to pay max money for a guy that struggled to play 20 games last season? It's tough, man. The whole situation's tough. I hope Joel Embiid comes back this year and proves me wrong and everybody wrong. But I don't think any of us are wrong for losing hope, because we're just doesn't seem realistic. But I definitely hope he comes back and proves me wrong, man. We'll see, man. We'll probably start to see some.
Is wide open too.
Yeah, too.
I do think they are going to run it back with PG and Embiid for at least probably this season and the season after that, unless we just have another disaster of a year like last year or something a little bit better than that, but still extremely disappointing given the depth that this team now has. And if Embiid gets hurt again, they're definitely going to make some sort of change. I don't think Embiid's going to be getting traded, but it's definitely going to. I think, they are already sort of in that transition period, because Maxey, McCain, Grimes, they are fast players, and if you're going to have them playing within the Joel Embiid system, a slower kind of player, likes to get his back to the basket and play a more methodical game rather than just be blitzing up and down the court. Who really knows how long that is going to last when you have that that trio of guards who like to get out and run? Who really knows how long that is going to last? But the Eastern Conference is wide open. Embiid, he has not been healthy for a while, but when he is healthy, he is among the best players in the NBA, among the most impactful players in the league. And the Sixers, they can really make a good run at a championship next season if healthy. But
with the way
in the Sixers,
with the speed that they want to play, they need to get Joel Embiid to be playing not just a faster game, but he can't be the solidified number one option. It can't just be give the ball to Joel, ISO, take 20 seconds to shoot a fadeaway jumper. It works when he's on fire. Of course, he dropped 70 on Wemby in 3 quarters. But they need to play a faster game, definitely. That's the way the league is trending. And last season, there was a specific game where I thought Nick Nurse did an amazing job of this, and then I never saw it again. And it was against the Boston Celtics on Christmas Day. I thought Tyrese Maxey was the number one option in that game. And I'm pretty sure he dropped 45, Tyrese Maxey did in that game. And Joel Embiid was on the elbow, kind of catching the ball from Maxey coming around the top of the key, and he was either moving the ball or getting to a shot pretty quickly from the elbow. or take a one dribble getting in the post. So I think there's a world where Joel Embiid can be part of a team that plays a little faster. And I saw it last year. I didn't see it a lot, but I saw it at least once. So maybe, that's where they go this upcoming season with, because it is interesting to think about Joel Embiid playing and a lot of these guards playing in the Joel Embiid system, as you say. I think they need to transition into a system that is not so Joel Embiid centric.
I mean, with Embiid's game, he's still an elite mid-range shooter and a smart defender. Now, he has been a lot less hesitant to, close out on threes because, dude, back in the day, he was taking Trae Young out on the perimeter one-on-one. He was guarding Trae Young out on the perimeter, but just with how much his health has been declining over these past couple of years, he can still be a solid rim protector, but he definitely – if this, just realistically and the way his career is projecting. Now, who knows? Maybe he could finally have that breakthrough. He plays most games in the season and goes on that finally get that true Joel Embiid healthy playoff run. Still an elite mid-range shooter, still a smart rim protector, great footwork, and his game would age gracefully if he didn't have all these horrible injuries and missing all this time, sort of kind of like a Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin Durant is a lot lighter, but it's not like he's been super durable over these past couple of years either. And Embiid and KD sort of have similar skill sets with their mid-range ability and able to get to the rim. So I think if Embiid, he can finally, break through and get a little bit more healthy, play those games, he could still be an effective player on the court, even if he doesn't have that uber athleticism anymore, even if he's not doing those windmill dunks and, chase down blocks. He can still be an excellent center, and the Sixers could use someone like Joel Embiid on this team. I just think that at this point, you need to start transitioning, really embrace Tyrese Maxey. I think Embiid, if he can condition his body a little bit, really get used to playing in a much more fast-paced game, the Sixers, they can
condition his body.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we really, with the whole entire if healthy thing, like in a perfect world, we wish that would happen, but who really knows, man? I just
don't think he's in shape. I'm at the point where I don't think he's ever in shape, and I'm running out of excuses for it. I just don't think he's ever in shape. I know he's always hurt, but he's also never really in great shape.
Oh yeah. I mean, he said like some off seasons, he's just like that one off season. He's literally just flat out said he did nothing. I mean, he just did nothing. I guess because he just didn't want to get injured, and he has had so many freak injuries, like getting elbowed by Fultz, elbowed by Siakam.
No, I don't think he should. I don't think he should be playing basketball in the off season, but he should be swimming laps. If there's one way to get cardio without running and hurting your joints, and it's you get his big ass in a lap pool, man.
Facts.
I know there's a pool somewhere big enough for a 7'2" guy. Maybe there's not, but yeah.
Call up Michael Phelps. Yeah,
exactly. Call up Michael Phelps. But hey, man, NZ, thanks for collabing with me again, man. We're gonna do this all summer long. I have fun every single time, man. Congratulations on your channel. The views keep coming up, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Consistency is key. Shout out to everybody viewing from NZ's channel right now, and anybody on my channel that is not subscribed to NZ for 3, go search NZ for 3 on YouTube and give them a subscribe and hit the like button for us. 822 people in here. Hit the like button, man. We're out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. It's just always fun chopping it up in the summer, man. I know that, in the dead of the NBA offseason, it can get a little boring, but it always is fun, talking about what the Sixers are capable of doing. And look, I still think of a world where the Sixers never got this pick. And instead of talking about how great VJ Edgecombe was, we would just be sitting on the Quentin Grimes situation and talking about like Jared Butler's team option. Like, I still think of that world, and I still, am just so grateful that we are finally building towards the future and we have some dogs on this team.
Yeah, they gave me a lot of content with getting lucky and landing that draft pick. I'm going to be honest with you. Last summer I was still bartending part-time, and if they didn't get that draft pick, I would have nothing to talk about. I probably would have just went back to bartending part-time in the summer, and it's because I'm not going to sit here and talk about a Quentin Grimes contract for 3 months, dude. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through, man. We'll do it again real soon, man.
For sure.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.